There's a kind of silence that doesn't arrive suddenly. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't interrupt anything. It simply settles in. And one day you realize it's been there for years. I'm not talking about the quiet of a peaceful house, or the comfortable stillness between two people who know each other well. This silence feels different. It feels like something essential slowly stepped out of the room. And neither of us noticed when it happened. I can't point to a single moment when we changed. There was no betrayal. No harsh words that couldn't be taken back. We didn't fall apart. We just drifted. There was a time when being married meant effort without counting it. We leaned toward each other naturally. Shared dreams that felt urgent and alive. Back then, conversations wandered. They stayed up late without purpose. We talked about what might be, not just what needed to be done. We were building something together. And we knew it. Now, when I look at us, I see two people who built a life very well. A home that functions. A routine that works. But somewhere along the way, the connection that held it all together stopped being the center. We still talk. Of course we do. But our words have changed. They're practical now. Efficient. Necessary. Bills. Appointments. Plans for the week. We exchange information. But not ourselves. And there was no argument about it. No decision. It just became easier not to ask certain questions. Easier not to open doors that might lead to feelings neither of us knew how to carry anymore. There's a particular kind of loneliness that comes from being married. It's not dramatic. It doesn't scream. It's the feeling of lying next to someone who knows your habits better than your thoughts. Sharing a bed, while living separate emotional lives. I wake up sometimes and realize I haven't truly been seen in a long time. Not ignored. Just not noticed in that deeper way. And I wonder if they feel the same. Or if this distance feels normal to them now. Starting over is a thought that comes quietly, too. Not as a plan. More like a question that never fully forms. What would it mean to live alone now? To navigate health scares without someone who knows the history? To face evenings that stretch long and quiet? Dating at this age doesn't feel romantic. It feels exhausting. Uncertain. And there's the weight of how it looks. What people would think. What family might say. So much history lives here. So many shared memories that don't disappear just because the present feels thin. There's loyalty in that. And responsibility. But I keep asking myself something I never thought I would. Is obligation the same as love? Or is it simply what remains when love changes shape? I see younger couples now, and I'm struck by how differently they speak about marriage. They talk about fulfillment. About emotional honesty. They leave when something feels wrong, not necessarily broken. I don't judge that. I try to understand it. We were taught to stay. To endure. To believe that commitment meant holding on, even when connection faded. And maybe that was strength. Maybe it still is. But there are questions no one prepares you to ask this late in life. When did we stop choosing each other, and start simply existing together? Is staying always the right thing? Is leaving always selfish? I know some couples find peace this way. A quiet companionship. A steady presence. They don't need more. And they're content. Others, though, slowly disappear inside the life they built. Not unhappy enough to leave. Not connected enough to feel alive. I don't know which one we are. Or which one I am. There's no villain here. No wrong party. Just two people who shared decades, and now share silence more than words. I'm not looking for answers anymore. I don't think there are neat ones. I just sit with the truth that love doesn't always end loudly. Sometimes it softens. Sometimes it thins. And sometimes it leaves behind a question that never quite goes away. Is staying an act of devotion? Or fear of being alone? I don't know. And maybe that's the hardest part. Living with a life that looks whole from the outside, while quietly wondering what it truly means to keep choosing someone, when the choice itself has become invisible. So I leave this unsaid, unsent. Just a thought resting in the quiet, where it's been living for a long time now.